Social media is a lie, according to people on social media. I disagree. It's not fake. It's just normal human behavior scaled up to a larger audience. Once you accept it's not the full picture, like a movie, even one based on a true story, the social media panic starts looking ridiculous. People curated their lives long before social media, and they'd keep doing it if every platform shut down tomorrow. You wouldn't go into a job interview or something in your pajamas. You wouldn't willingly go out in disheveled clothes or looking your absolute worst, unless it's Walmart. You're also not going to show up in formal wear at these places, especially Walmart. You're always going to want a presentable version of yourself, which is dependent on context, and social media is no different. Maybe in some cases you'd post a video of yourself in pajamas, like this one creator I follow whose shtick is casual life inside a small Boston apartment. But I assume it's still curated, staged, and not entirely true to life to some extent. Even then, it's more polished than real life because slovenly appearances are way less likely to get likes than refined portraits. A better example is the comparison trap. People compared themselves to each other before social media, and if society collapsed tomorrow, they still would, but in different ways. Someone is going to see someone have something they want and think, I want that! Whether it's seeing what someone else had 30 years ago in person, or seeing what a friend, acquaintance, or stranger has today online. Personally, I see the influencer who visits the aquarium seals daily and I think, I'd like to be able to do that. I'm not in a financial position to move close enough to realistically do that, or fund daily trips. Instead, I take a look at the fact I can make these videos and my Instagram reels and remain grateful I can go to the entire aquarium on the weekends with my membership, plus museums and AMC. In real life, I don't need social media to compare myself to the guys who moved into that apartment I keep telling you about, because they're people I know personally who aren't big users of it. If social media didn't exist and we remained in touch, I'd know their situation and maybe be jealous of the perks. But ultimately, I'd accept I should either do something about my situation or accept it and move forward. I'd actually argue comparing ourselves is necessary to find out where we can do better. I believe people could use it as a tool to see what we need to improve ourselves over time. I could look at my friends who share that apartment, see what they're doing that makes their situation possible, and ask myself, how could I make that happen for myself? Without divulging too much information, their work and life situations are different than mine, but they have less free time than me. I could make it happen if I made sacrifices. It'd be difficult, but it could happen. I'm just not willing to give up more time outside my instant gratification job availability for working for someone else. That's my weak point. Not being in a position to move where I want is a consequence of that weak point that I accept. I'm not going back on my stance on living at home, but comparing myself to my friends and Seal Influencer has made me realize there are perks to moving out. I remain mindful of downsides, which I can more easily learn from honest conversations with my friends than watching seal influencers' reels. It's safe to assume there are mundane errands she has to run, and of course, not all of them are things she'll share publicly, especially those that have sensitive information involved. It's similar to how a movie isn't 100% reality, even true story ones. Fictional ones often use time jumps to skip long, irrelevant periods of time where we don't need to see every little detail. My favorite movie, The Martian, skips several months when Mark's crewmates are making the journey back to Mars. We don't need to see what happens during that time. A true story favorite of mine, Patriots Day, does this too. Also, Mark Wahlberg's lead character isn't even a real person. He's a composite character for narrative cohesion. When writers insist on showing every little detail, you get something like The Room, which is infamous for sequences that do just that. So, of course, content on social media, including mine, has some level of narrative dramatization and polish. Like these movies, whether completely fictional or based on a true story. Don't even get me started on reality TV. That's way more manipulated than social media. Producers film way more footage and assemble it as they see fit. At least social media lets everyone tell their side and show receipts. It returns creative control to you, the people. At the end of the day, social media is a form of entertainment and information. People are going to polish it to be more entertaining or cohesively express information and meet the needs or wants of a target audience, or do what performs best, the same way any competent writer would. I do just that with these videos and my Boston trips Instagram. More likely, when it comes to people in your personal lives who aren't content creators like me, Seal Influencer, or the Apartment Life one, they're going to share the best versions of themselves or some visual representation of something they might still do if social media weren't a thing. The same way they would do in person. In more private forums with closer friends or family members, they're more open and honest, which is how it should be. Social media didn't invent curated lives, it just gave them a larger platform. All you have to do is be mindful of that and realistic with trying to replicate something you see on social media, or accept it as entertainment like The Martian, or a dramatized version of a true story like Patriots Day. Be sure to like the video if you enjoyed it. Comment what you think about all this, especially if it's making you feel better about social media. Subscribe for cultural commentary and rants from a man caught between generations. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.